All right. Hi, beautiful souls. Thank you for being here today. My name is Sadhana, and welcome to my 40-day restorative yoga challenge. I am just going to adjust the camera. It was set up for a class earlier today, so just forgive me while I fiddle with this. So today we are going to come into child's pose, in a variation of child's pose, and I'm going to give you a few different things to work with. So go ahead and grab a bolster and some other cushions if you have them, if you haven't already got yourself organized. I don't know about you, but today I really need to come into maximum comfort and softness. I've had a really busy day, and it would just feel good to come into child's pose and feel very nurtured and cared for. If you have anybody else in your house who can come after the fact and place a blanket on your back, this makes this even extra sweet. So I would suggest that because I want you to feel really kind of nourished today. And sometimes what I feel is what you're feeling too. So welcome. I hope you've been enjoying this series. And one of the things I want to put out there too is requests. So perhaps you have been to a yin yoga class or a restorative yoga class, and there's a posture that you want to understand a little bit better, or you haven't practiced for a long time, or maybe there's a body part that really needs some TLC. And you could let me know about that too. And then I could fit in a posture to work with that, because we have plenty of days left. Today is day 10. And so there's 30 more opportunities to really kind of melt into the floor and use this practice as one of letting go. And one of the questions I often receive from students, from different people when we're talking about yoga, people who don't really understand the difference between the different types of yoga. And yoga is yoga. I just want to say that, first of all. What's the difference between yin yoga and restorative yoga? And of course, this is my take on it. First of all, yin is not a yogic term. It comes from the Chinese language, right? So it's not a Sanskrit word. But yin yoga in general refers to the feminine, softer, slower side of the body, focusing on the Ida Nadi. So in the yogic practice, the channels, the lines of energy are referred to as nadis. And there's about 70,000 of them, but how do we really know that, right? We can't measure them. We can follow the charting, the mapping that's been done through acupuncture and so forth. But the chi lines, the key lines from Chinese medicine, don't necessarily match up exactly to that of the nadis through the teachings of yoga. So where am I going with this? I've lost my train of thought. I've had a really, really busy day. So maybe I will come back to where I was at. So working with different postures. I'm sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Let's get to our lovely message for today, and maybe I'll be able to weave all back into where I was. So let me know if you do have requests. Not very often I do that, but anyway. So today I'm going to draw a card from Roots and Wings Oracle. This bag actually here that you can see on the floor is from the creator as well too. This is a bag design that I really like. I haven't made any of this bag design. I know Boho Tarot, she makes bags like this and has a tutorial on them, and I'm thinking it's more like a pouch, right? It's really nice because those drawstring bags, which I do make, those strings get in the way, and so close your eyes. Just really dial down, let it go, soften the whole body into your seat. And you've heard me say this before, try to get your knees below your hips. So whatever seat you come to, and you could also be lying on the floor, right? You could be in Shavasana to start this practice. Oh, I was talking about the difference between yin and restorative. Right. I'll come back to that. This is a really sweet oracle deck, and I chose this deck because to me, this deck feels a little gentler than a lot of the ones that I've done. I just wanted a kind of a hug today. And so probably we will get a hug message. So focus on the exhale breath, releasing, letting go. Come to the left nostrils, so the Ida Nadi. And just focus on the breath in the left side. No need to restrict the breath in the right side. Just take your mind to the left nostril and bring your awareness to the left nostril. Really give yourself permission to let go. Transformation. Feels like a process though, looking at this card. This card, there's no head. There's only one wing of the butterfly. And it feels like we're still in process. The transformation is part of the journey, right? It's part of the step by step. And we've been getting a lot of messages like this in the different cards that I've we've drawn. So yeah, the other funny thing here was I'm contemplating also doing half frog today. I'm not sure how this child's pose is going to evolve. And to me, this is like saying, yes, so then I do half frog because it's half a butterfly. So maybe that's what we'll do. Yeah. If you haven't seen the cards that I've drawn, I've posted the cards with comments on my community tab as well as my Instagram page. So you can go there and see the cards and kind of reflect on the messages for each day. So that's really interesting. Oh, I love working with cards. All lines of energy. Okay, so the difference between yin and restorative, let's go into, let's do half frog. Okay, so get your bolster or your pillow. You know those pillows, I never had them when I was pregnant, those long pillows that people use in bed. Sometimes, I know sometimes people gift them when you're pregnant. Those would be great for this pose. And I know some people actually sleep this way. This is the restorative version of the half frog. So you want to have your pillows over in front of you and then come down onto your belly. And I'll talk about the restorative thing when we get into this. So just give yourself a moment to land here. Let's just open the upper back for a second. Gently move your hips side to side. Come into Sphinx-like arms, so the elbows are bent, forearms are on the mat, and just soften between the shoulder blades. As if you were doing a cattle posture. So just really begin to soften, let go. Allow the upper body to hammock here. Begin to release tension from the upper body. And if you need to wiggle your hips, go ahead and wiggle your hips. This is a really, really sweet posture. You just want to bring up your right leg. So scoot up your right leg. And some people can bring it up really, really high. And you're welcome to do whatever you want with the lower leg. The more you bring the leg out to the side, the more intensity you're going to feel in this posture. The closer the foot is tucked in, the gentler this is going to be. And all you're going to do is hug your bolster and come on down here. Bring awareness to your groin muscles, to all of this connective tissue in your adductors. And just for a moment, you can go ahead and extend that leg, and you can bring it in, and you choose where you want to have it. And the more you hike this up, of course, the deeper you're going to go. Okay, so it should be good. If for any reason your left rib cage is not happy, you can come out, maybe place a blanket or something so your left rib, if your left ribs are bothering you, because you want to be nice and comfortable here. We'll do variations on child's pose, perhaps tomorrow or the next day. So I call this one half frog, but I know half frog is there's other variations as well too. And I can, maybe I'll show you that when we come out of this. So the idea with the yin practice is that you create a certain amount of tension in the body, stress in the body. And some of the yin poses are actually really, really challenging. And you come to a certain point of stress in the body, not too much, not too little, and then you stay for 6 minutes or 7 minutes. And the idea is with that particular practice that over time you will, if you are hydrated, it's really important to remember because the fascia needs to be hydrated to be healthy. And so hydration is another really important part of this practice. 6 to 7 minutes into a pose, their studies have been done that the actual connective tissue, the fascia specifically, will begin to respond to the stillness of the posture. And so by staying an extended period of time, we not only begin to release some of the stress, the blockages in the muscles, but also moving into the fascia and the connective tissue. In the restorative yoga practice, when I'm teaching it, I avoid those yin postures that are very challenging, that create so much tension that people go, oh my God, this is not relaxing. They want to bolt out of it. So that's one thing. The other thing is that I encourage that the restorative practice be completely supported. Every body part is supported, nothing is hanging. When I'm teaching a class, I'm hopping around, adjusting blankets, making sure everybody's warm and cozy and covered. And it just feels like a big hug, which is not my experience in the yin class. The yin class is it's almost like, it feels like there's more of it's not about relaxation, it's about stretching, if I can say that. So, and I feel that this practice is so good for slowing down and bringing into balance the sympathetic nervous system. It's great for your sleep patterns as well too. So yeah. So by this point, you may want to go a little bit deeper by adjusting the foot a little further away, a little closer, or by bringing that hip up a little higher. And then just take a couple of breaths here. If this is your tighter side, right, you're going to notice this when you switch. So I hope that makes sense. Love to have a conversation about it with you. I mean, I love the yin practice. And perhaps if I run out of restorative poses, we'll do a few. But I'll show you what I mean at the end here between the frog variations. This one is definitely restorative. Let's take 6 more deep breaths on this side. And I just was aware my left glute was really tense. So bring awareness to that part of your body. Soften your gluteal muscles. And we'll come into integration in prone shavasana. So bring your right arm back. Mindfully draw that right leg back. Move your prop, your pillow out of the way. Stack your palms and place your forehead on your palms. The lower body, you can bring your toes together and let your heels rest to the outside. And just take a few breaths of integration. And observe the different sensations between the right hip and the left hip. And you may or may not feel a surge of prana, energy, flooding through the right hip. And if your fifth pillow is quite high, you may also feel a release in your upper back. So just allow the upper back to integrate. One more deep breath here. Big exhale breath. Okay, so other side. I'm just going to flip around so I can look at the camera. So this time you're going to bring your left hip up. And just be mindful if this is the side that needs, if this side is more open or it's going to be different. So just take your time and breathe into that difference. Soften your ankle. And then when you're ready, come on down, soften onto a cushion, a bolster. And go ahead and close your eyes. And if you haven't quite got into a deep enough position, then you can bring the knee up a little higher. And if this posture isn't doing anything for you, I will show you full frog in a few moments. Take your mind's eye into the groin area. Very high in the adductors there, and just begin to breathe a sense of letting go into that part of your legs. And for some of you, it might be more about this part of the hip, the wrapping around the glutes. So just take your breath where your breath needs to go, and just keep remembering, keep mindful that where the mind goes, the breath will follow, and so will the prana. And this is, it's my left side. This is my more open side. So just coming right down onto the floor actually feels better than having the pillow. So You may want to do that as well too. Big exhale breaths. Where can you soften? And I've also really been playing with language with several students because a lot of people resist the experience of letting go. It's very hard, it's not something they're comfortable with. And so finding your word is really important. So some people, if they hear the word relax, they tense up. Some people hear surrender, they tense up. Other people melt into those words. So finding the word that you can repeat over and over in your mind is can be really helpful. Simply you can on the inhale breath say the word let, exhale breath go. That one works for a lot of people. For me, my word is allow. It's been magic medicine this past year, maybe longer. Allow. Allow whatever is ready to release, or to come forward. And even if this is a very, very mild stretch for you, by this point, your body will have begun to let go in places you didn't know it needed to let go. So just let go. And I'm thinking about that picture on the card that I drew today, the transformation card with the half a butterfly. It's really kind of interesting, right? Because we always have a tenser side, a more open side, and neither one nor the other is necessarily in optimal wellness, right? The side that is a little tighter needs to soften, and the side that is a little more open probably needs to strengthen. So whatever side it is, there's work to do, and there's breath to bring, either to energize or to release. So just really be in the process. Take 6 more deep breaths on this side. And allow the body to do whatever it is it needs to do. And I should talk about that as well too, one of these times. The ways, different ways that people experience energetic release in the body. So bring the left arm out. Very mindfully slide the left leg back. Come into prone shavasana. Feel the body is balanced. Enjoy the knuckles underneath your eyebrow area. I think I said before, I just really am amazed what a great massage that is. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders. And you can press up and back through a child's pose, bringing your hips back. And I'm going to show you the other full frog, just in case some of you, that was just not enough of anything for you. So you can come up to your seat and just have a look at what I'm doing. I have folded in the ends of my mat. And this is because full frog is a lot on the knees. And some people could use 2 of the softer cushions. So these ones, some people like to use these instead, just because the experience in full frog can be really intense. So if you want to make this as restorative as possible, I would create something like this, and I would put down a sea of blankets here, because even though I'm on a carpet and a wood floor, it's hard. It's really hard. And I'm still going to have the bolster because this is a restorative practice. And I'm going to come to my knees. And my hips are up quite high here. Now, in full frog, the feet are wide. And you come down. So for some people, this might be too much. You could also support this with blocks. And this is a deep, deep groin opener. Right, so you could have this, which is too high for me, but so your bolster is important to this one. And then you can begin to exhale into this. Now you would only be doing this as a restorative practice if that half frog was just nothing. You didn't experience anything. And if having the feet wide is too much, then you bring the knees a little closer together and you bring the feet together. And then you just do this, right? So you want to find a posture where you feel you want to find a variation where you feel a moderate amount of tension in the groin area. So yeah. I actually quite like this pose. I used to dread when yoga instructors would include this one in a practice. But if you set it up right, it can actually really be quite relaxing. So I'm going to stay for a minute just because I'm already here, and then probably well past our half hour, but yeah, let's just stay for another minute. And if you've never done full frog before and your knees are going like, what's happening here? Then you know you need to set this up so your knees feel protected. And just really soften into the groin muscles. And when you're done, you're done. You're just going to come back. You can either slide forward and come into a prone shavasana or go back into a child's pose. Or turn over onto your back and come into shavasana. And just let go. If you're still with me in frog, just take a few more breaths here. And then go ahead, come up, remove your bolster. You can slide right down onto the floor. Extend your legs back. And then roll over onto your back and come into Shavasana. Time to let go. Time to soften and release. And gently move the body. If you're holding tension, just give yourself a moment in your Shavasana to settle down onto the floor. Left side, right side. Breath. Letting go. Big breath in, big breath out. You may want to call for somebody to come and cover you up now, so you can just kind of snuggle here and completely relax and let go. So enjoy your Shavasana if you're lying on your back. Thank you very much for being here today. And again, please let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Namaste.